Johnson's still questionable, but if he can play and really just going forward the rest of the season, how important is he to some of the things you can do?
Extremely important. I mean, I think he was a big part of our offense last year, and he's proven that. So we just got to get him healthy and get ready to go.
Are there things that really only he can do, at least right now?
Well,
not for him right now, but
it depends if he's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a big question.
Yeah.
When he comes back, and how he reacts to practice and stuff like that, I think that's really big.
Is it easy to fans and media, including guys like us, to get lost in the stats? With Kentucky, they're a team that's given up a lot of rushing yards. They did the same last year, but you guys threw the ball very well and only rushed for 130. Is this defense similar to last year? What do you see on tape?
I think it's the same defensive coordinator, so it's very similar. I think last year we caught them off guard. We came in and, they were expecting us to run, and we threw the ball. And, we'll find out what happens this week.
A lot of good tape to look at, though,
yeah,
from last year.
There is. There's a lot of good tape to look at last year and this year. They played some tough people now.
Tyler coming off the couple games he's had, confidence-wise, Kentucky game last year was one of his better games. You think there's something to that he can draw some experience from that game being there? And
I'll let you know after practice. It's one of those deals. See how he practices and see how he goes through.
But how's he been the last week and the bye week and getting everything ready?
He's been good. We've kept him out of a couple things, get bumps and bruises healed up, make sure that's healed up for the game. I think that's critical.
It's an interesting challenge because you've dealt with guys that maybe were gunslingers or guys that, you tried to get to see what's happening. Now you got a guy that maybe sees too much, thinks too much a little bit, like a Tyler like that. In a way, is easier to correct almost?
Well, I don't know I don't quite gather your question about seeing too much. I mean, he's been doing what we asked him to do. He's been pretty consistent. Things we got to do is just execute. I think that's the big key. It comes down to putting the ball in people's hands and making it happen.
Yes, what I was getting at was what Dan said last week about Tyler was looking for maybe the grand slam when there was a good, just a clean base hit there and right in front of him.
Yeah, at times that's for a quarterback, that's you got to learn to check the ball down. But I think there was some opportunities there, and I think last week we just didn't quite click. It just wasn't in one position. There was a couple of them that we didn't click, and we got to be able to. The last 3 games before that we clicked pretty good, and we just got to make sure we hit on all cylinders.
Do you think Perkins is probably the most consistent player for you guys so far offensively, game in and game out?
I'd have to go look. I'd have to go look on the grades to make sure. I think he graded out really well last week. Did a nice job. So the thing is we're having the ability to spell him at times, which really keeps his best shot on the field.
I guess what I'm trying to say is it seems like every game he breaks off one long run when he needs it.
Well, I hope he keeps doing that. I mean, that's a good sign. We'll let you know we're fixing to get an SEC play. I hope that continues on. I really do.
So, Les, what in the world are the Kentucky offensive coaches thinking right now at the start of a true freshman? You've been in that position before.
Wow. I mean, those guys are close friends of mine. They're really good football coaches. They'll have something lined up. If you remember last year, they played Tennessee, and they came in there and did an outstanding job.
Right.
And,
Is there a basic checklist of things that have to get done when you're going to do that, though?
Well, I think the thing you got to be really is what they can do. Don't get caught up in the X's and O's schematically of you're creating an advantage and they know this, that whatever he can do is what they're going to do. And, Randy's a real close friend. Randy's a really good football coach. And those guys are good football coaches. They're going to do whatever he can do and try to move the football.
How much do you think, has Kentucky changed at all without having that big linebacker, those linebackers?
Well, they had a guy last year, the leading tackler in the SEC, and I tell you, they got a really good linebacker now, number 2. He's a really good player now. I mean, you watch him, he's active on film. Wow, can he go now? And he's a big kid. You'll see him play linebacker, defensive end. He's very versatile. He's a good football player. He's a really good football player.